Yeah, we're rolling. Bit of a different one today, as I've mentioned in previous videos. My background is kind of reviewing multiple different things, from ranging from computer games at a company called Electronics Boutique. They're no longer operating. They closed down many years ago. Used to do that online for both new and old games, and obviously I've also done beta and alpha login of pre-workouts, meaning a lot of the time before a product comes to market, you'd basically be like almost like a paid guinea pig to sample various pre-workouts, meaning something that you take before you train in the gym. It doesn't necessarily have to be used in that way. It could even be used for like late night studying, as I've done in the past, and it's just like another version of like stimulants with other ingredients in. And so that's actually what I'm going to go back to today. Obviously I've been doing fragrances, or fragrance reviews. I've been doing obviously hair product reviews and styling tips and so on. So again, this is just putting different things out there, really, to kind of just give people the opportunity to get an honest opinion, an honest review, unbiased. As always, all my reviews are very honest. They're from me to kind of help out you, rather than me making money or whatever. So without further ado, it's a bit different, because usually I'm dragging over from the cupboard my little cupboard aftershaves. So picking up this thing, you're like, what the hell is that? So again, this is a pre-workout powder. Now, long story short, I've been in and out of the gyms for, I say gyms because it's multiple gyms, for 19 and a half years. So kind of for 20 years. So again, kind of showing my age a bit. Obviously how I look now would have looked different when I'm younger, and vice versa. It's kind of like anything in life. Depending on what you do, you become like your body will reflect kind of what you're doing, be that work, play, whatever. So again, without going into the history of me training in the gym, I'll say that most supplements that you buy, regardless of what someone says, again, there's that old saying of a snake oil salesman. That's been, obviously, the story behind that is someone trying to sell you a product that does nothing, but they're very articulate. They're a good salesperson, so they convince your brain that this product will do something. And sadly, again, without going into specifics and my background, but I would say at least 90% of the food supplements that you can buy don't do anything. And again, whenever you do come across a supplement that actually works or shows some kind of indication in the human body that it'll work, it's usually outlawed, reformulated, and or the drug companies come in and say, like, this is now a banned substance and so on. And hence why some athletes in competition, or even footballers back in the day, used to get popped for illegal use of fat burners and so on. But again, that's a topic for another time. Obviously I have a big history in terms of with the gym, and the other side in terms of with drug testing and the supplement industry as a whole. But me just putting that out there, obviously there might be people who look to defend certain supplements. That's up to them, that's their choice. But I'm just telling you from my experience and multiple other people's experience with data that kind of shows facts rather than emotion or sales talk. Most supplements don't do anything in the human body. Now, I'm not going into protein powders, which is liquid food. That has its place, I'm not going to say, but then that also, much like fragrances, comes in qualities, be it from where it's sourced, as in where it's manufactured, the quality of the manufacturing process, the quality of the raw ingredients. So again, I could go on and on about this, but I'm just trying to conclude that most products, sports supplements, are rubbish and they don't do anything and they're overpriced. And again, when you know the price of things that do work, and the people in the know do, it's night and day. And again, the reason why it tends to be younger men get caught out in this, and women as well, is that they'll look to how visually someone will look advertising this, and then assume, oh, that's their secret. These are the supplements I need to be using because X and Y look this way, and they swear by it. Even though a lot of the time these are products or companies that pay certain athletes to basically say, like, yeah, this protein bar is really good. But again, without going off onto a tangent, I just thought I'd do this introduction so you kind of know, again, with my experience and my knowledge with this, I can give honest reviews. And again, back in the day, I used to beta and alpha log certain pre-workouts before they hit the market, certain ones that ended up being very popular, certain ones that didn't. And again, I kind of shied away from that back in the day because, again, I'm very honest. And if I'm honest and say this product is rubbish, it doesn't do anything, yeah, it tastes nice, blah, blah, blah. But when it comes to using these products, I always saw it more of how effective it is in performance rather than does it taste nice, does it mix well, which again, a lot of reviews online seem to do. But I thought there was a door then. But anyway, so here we are with Gaspari Superpump Aggression. Long story short, you're going to see lots of different pre-workouts from a company, especially Gaspari. Gaspari have been around a long time, American company. I pretty much use all of their different pre-workouts over the years. They tend to be, I don't want to say the most reliable company and the most cheap or affordable, because this is kind of expensive. But what I'll do, I'll basically go through taste mixability like usual, and then at the actual performance and what you get from it. So most important thing when buying a pre-workout isn't the label, and it isn't necessarily the price, it's when you look at the back. So back in the day, they used to have what was called a proprietary blend. Some companies still do that. What they used to do was they would put this up, they would say there's a 20-gram scoop, say, and give the ingredient breakdown but not tell you how much is in it. So two problems with that. The reason they did that was to defend their product so other companies couldn't copy it. That's what they used to say. More so recently, and in probably the past 10 years, most companies don't do that. They tell you exactly what you get in it. So, and then again, this is why I go back to points that I made previously. Just because what it says on the label doesn't always guarantee what you get in the tub. So knowing this, you tend to buy, or should be buying, not off eBay, not off Amazon, because it's really easy to reseal tubs. Again, this is me, I'm talking from experience and knowing people who've done this in the past and companies and so on. So you should always try to buy ideally from a wholesaler or from an online company that you trust, as well as a company that you trust. So without further ado, we're going to go through the actual label, kind of tell you what is what, and then as I say, it's not like on the skin like the fragrance, and I'm not going to mix one up because I'm not on my bike. I'm not, I'm home today resting from the gym, so I don't need this kind of pick me up, this energy that this pre-workout will give. So long and short of it, in terms of the breakdown, so you have L-citrulline, 4,000 milligrams, so 4 grams. So again, I'm not going to go through all the effective human dosages in terms of what's studied. So like, for example, creatine monohydrate in the body, for most people 5 grams a day would be effective, and that's something that you don't need to load. That's something that you would take on a daily basis to increase performance in the gym. That's actually an ingredient or a sports supplement that's quite, well, it used to be cheap, and that's effective in the human body. So that's a product that you would you would use, and you would get something out of it. So L-citrulline, so that can be bonded to malate or not. This is unbonded. Again, apples and oranges, I'm not going to say one's better than the other. It tends to be, again, the company and how they manufacture the product, because the label could read amazing, but again, the proof is in the pudding. So long story short, pretty much everything they have in here: beta-alanine, beta-hydrogenase, taurine, tyrosine, caffeine. This is a long word, but it's basically a focus enhancement. Enviormwnt, fembromine, choline bitarate, black pepper extract, and Huperzia serrata extract. So basically, again, to kind of inform and give some knowledge here, Usually from the label down, it will be from the highest amount or ingredients. So say with the citrulline 4 gram, and then work its way down. And what it tends to be, not always, but it tends to read on a label, effective doses down to lower ingredients, which tends to be the stimulant part or the absorption part. Again, some labels read different. Some are broken down into categories. So like a pump, ingredients meaning to increase blood flow and so on, and then you'll get the energy focus stimulant part. That's what I always tend to focus on, because again, I'm looking again, and everybody's different. I've used different products for different things, but generally speaking, I grade a product on performance and what it actually does in the gym. So without going through all the doses, you can find this information online. The blend is pretty decent. The caffeine content is quite high, 400 milligram per scoop. The price, I paid £38. I actually bought this in a shop. Ranges online from say £30 to £40, depending on if there's an offer or not. Multiple flavors of it. Mixability is good. Most of the pre-workouts of today mix and taste a lot better than they did 15-20 years ago when I started out in the gym and with the products. Overall, I'm going to give this an 8.5 out of 10 because the label kind of backs up what's in it. So in terms of the endurance side of things, in terms of the performance, you mix it up, say 30 minutes before you train, you go to the gym, you do your weights, you do your cardio, whatever. The effects are lingered, so that they'll kind of, they don't overpower you in the sense of some energy drinks and some which leave you jittery. In terms of with me, obviously I've had a lot of stimulant use, you could even say abuse back in the day. I tend to find anyway anything from 350 or 300 to 500 milligram my cut-off point. Again, when using products like this with caffeine in, you should be looking to use something at a cut-off point in the day, meaning that even if, say, for example, I train at 5 p.m. roughly each day, so my cut-off point would be 5 p.m. in terms of mixing up the pre-workout, or 4:30, because by 12, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, if you need to wake up early for work and you can't sleep, it's due to the stimulants and the caffeine. Again, I don't need to kind of go on about this because there's kind of common knowledge, most people know, but I'll put that out there to kind of say you want to limit the use of these products so that you don't build up a tolerance, and at the same time you don't want to be using these all the time, because then you eat through the tub, you're spending more money on top of your food bill and whatever else your outgoings are for the month. In terms of a product that's effective, this is effective and it does exactly what it should do. It gives you energy, it increases performance in the gym. In terms of a pump, like, I don't really train for that anymore. I'm not, like, I don't want to go into specifics. I'm not a power lifter or a strongman. I just train for fun. Obviously I've got quite a bit of muscle on me. I'm not going to say I'm the leanest guy either, because I enjoy my food, I enjoy cakes and so on. I'm almost 40. I'm a lot more relaxed with my training and how I look. I think that happens to most guys as they get older. They're just kind of, I don't want to say just whatever, and I don't want to say a dad bod either, but you know, guys my age and similar background with training and so on, they'll know where I'm getting at with that. Again, everybody's different. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. That's just what I choose to do. So to summarize, it's a product that I do recommend. There's thousands of these pre-workouts on the market. In terms of the label, Gaspari, they're a well-known company based on a real-life bodybuilder in the 80s, Rich Gaspari, who then years later created his own company. I like him as well. I'm not going to say all of his product line is good. Again, going back to what I said earlier, 90% of the sports supplements on the market don't do anything in terms of it in the human body. And again, when you find these studies that show X and Y test booster will increase testosterone, they're never in human beings, and if they are, it's a sponsor, a study that's sponsored by the company. That's a common theme. So again, without going into other things, we'll summarize and end with, I do recommend this product by Gaspari. If you can see it for £30 or even less on offer, worth it. I pay 38. in terms of servings, you get 25 servings, 1 scoop each, so 25 workouts roughly. So again, if I'm using it 3 times a week, it works out quite good value, because I never need more than a scoop of this. As I say, that's another point to remember, that some pre-workouts might appear very cheap and affordable, but you have to multi-scoop to get the recommended dosages of effective ingredients. So again, I could go on for an hour talking about pre-workouts and breakdowns of ingredients and so on, but I just thought I'd summarize and recommend the Gaspari Superpump Aggression by Gaspari Nutrition. Recommended in terms of an overall rating. I'd say an 8.5 out of 10. It does exactly what you want, sort of on the prices side, hence it doesn't get a 9, but overall it's a product that I've used off and on over the past year or so. It's like my go-to pre-workout, so recommended, just to kind of show you. Cool little label, and it comes in different flavors. I think I've had multiple flavors. They all taste good, they all mix good, and we'll end that there.